Hey guys, and welcome to a new video, and today I am doing a book review. So this is a book that I hauled in my last video. This is How to Love by Cotugno, and I'm really excited. I finished this yesterday, which was Thursday, and I can't wait to tell you guys my thoughts on this book. So let's get started. So basically the book revolves around this girl named Rena. She's around 16 years old. She gets pregnant by her forever crush in high school, this bad boy named Sawyer Legrand. So what's really nice is that the dad's actually pretty close to Sawyer and everything, but doesn't really like Sawyer for Rena because he's kind of troubled. You know, he has his own issues, and he has issues with his parents and all that stuff, like teenage angst 101. There's basically per chapter there's a before and then an after chapter. So the before is, sorry, it's really hot. The before is during, you know, when she was still in high school and she was about to graduate. The after is when she has this kid that she needs to take care of and of course provide for and all that. And it's nice because every other chapter is the before and then every other chapter after that is like the after. So it's really cool because you actually get the suspense. So if you're reading, let's say, a before chapter and then something really juicy happens in the end of the chapter, you need to wait a whole chapter before you find out what happens. And what's nice is that they actually mesh well. They mesh well together, the before and after chapters, and then they kind of, in the end, they kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Not really, but kinda, where the before chapter ends in the last, in the back of the book, is a good ending for the before chapters, and then the after has a really nice ending to it as well. So I actually really enjoy this kind of style. Another thing that I want to say is I love how the author writes her books. It's very, I guess it's descriptive, it's the way it's supposed to be. It keeps you interested to find out what's going to happen. It makes you want to find out. And she has a really good way of just writing everything. And I want to say that I just really have a love-hate relationship with Sawyer. Even with Rena, like, I'm really rooting for Rena this whole book, that I hope everything works out for her. I hope that she, you know, she makes the right decisions. And then you see her struggling, that she wants to make the right decisions, but she's being pulled in a different direction because of Sawyer. And you could see that Sawyer's deep down is a good guy that's making really crappy decisions for himself. And at first, there are times where I really want to root for him, that please, you know, find your way, do the right thing, and then he screws it up, and then I'm like, oh, Rena, why are you with this guy? He's not right for you, and all that stuff. So it's like, first time that you know, the love interest is not someone that I'm really like, I'm like 100%, he's the right guy. You know, I'm like, oh God, this guy's complicated. And it did make the book a lot interesting, like a whole lot more interesting, that you're not really sure if the love interest is the right guy for her, and you don't know if they're going to end up together at all, and you want them to end up together, but then a part of me didn't want them to end up together. So it's really, I was going through the same emotions that the book was going through and everything, and then you could see the family dynamics. It wasn't perfect, which I really appreciated, because some books just, you know, some books don't really focus on that, and in this book it was touched upon, which I really enjoyed. So you could see that Rena and her father was having problems, especially after he found out that Rena got pregnant by Sawyer, and then you're like, oh my God. And you could feel for her that she did really feel like, you know, all these emotions that she should be, and she felt like she was alone, and you wanted her to fix things with her dad, and you don't really know if that's going to ever happen. It shows a more realistic, you know, struggle of a teen mom being left to figure things out on her own, and it doesn't sugarcoat having a kid at a young age, which I like, because you know, some teenagers nowadays don't really think about that, and they do things that they're not ready for, and the repercussions can be severe and life-changing, and it touches on that as well. So she, you know, she has to accept the new reality of things, that she's not going to be going to her dream college anymore, that she's going to have to man up, so to speak, or woman up, and deal with the situation. And this is actually Katie's first book, if I'm not mistaken, and for her first book, I really want to say that she did a really awesome job. I guess the best way for me to describe this book is that it is about a teenage girl trying to find herself and who she is and what she wants in her life, and it kind of gets derailed because she gets pregnant and she has to deal with the realities of her crush, meaning at first in her head it's all like, oh, he's perfect, he's this, he's that, and yet she has these expectations of how her crush is going to be. And when it finally happens for her, the realization that her crush isn't all that, and how she has to struggle with, I guess, the fairy tale being busted, and dealing with those emotions and trying to figure things out for herself. I do really believe it's a really good coming of age story for her, because you could see how Rena just progresses and becomes more mature, and even if she isn't sure and she's struggling a lot, she still goes on because she has this beautiful daughter that she needs to take care of. For her, and I really wanted her to succeed, even with her dad and her stepmom, and even with Sawyer at parts. Like, there were times I just really hated him, like, damn you, like, why are you such an asshole? And I wish though that there was more of the guy's perspective. Sawyer's perspective, I think, would have been really interesting as well. Maybe even just had a chapter in there where it was just his perspective on how things were happening to him. I didn't really see Sawyer's perspective being really, I guess, voiced or written out, unless it was him speaking, so to speak. So I wish there was more insight on his perspective, because that would have been, I think, very interesting as a reader as well, to find out what was going through his head while things were going on. For her first book, I think it's awesome. She did a really good job writing this book, and I'm really impressed. I can't wait to see what's in store for the author, like what other books she's going to write about. I'm very, very excited. So I give this book a 4 out of 5. I think it was awesome. It kept me emotionally invested the way I should have been. I even kind of teared up a little. I didn't really cry because I was at a Starbucks, and it really took a lot out of me to stop myself from like tearing up. So I was like, yeah, that's a plus for me. I think that it got you there. It got you emotionally invested. You wanted to find out what was happening. Definitely a good read. I really highly suggest you pick this up. I got my copy in fully booked, so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys want to see more book reviews, go leave me comments down below what books you think I should start reading next, or what books you can recommend for me to review. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!